So I know I promised all of you guys that I'd do a video tutorial on how to do a triple boot between Mac OS X, Windows, as long as it's XP, Service Pack 2 or later, and any form of Linux. Personally, I recommend Ubuntu. Now, what I typically do is this. So what you do is you go to Google, search for rEFIt. It's right here. And what that's going to allow you to do is really set up the triple boot that's possible without having to go through each process and go hold the option key when you actually boot up your Mac and everything. So you can just use this and it will directly choose. You can choose which one you want. So always download the newest version. I recommend downloading the disk image. It makes it the easiest because you're not going to do the ISO. You're not going to boot from a disk. And I wouldn't ever recommend using a tar file. Those are a pain to use. So download that. That's the first step. Then after you download that, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Disk Utility. Now you'll see I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro, so I have a 500 gigabyte internal hard drive. So I partitioned it 3 times. So what you do is you go to this, you go to the partition map. Now you see that the God, which I have named my main hard drive, has Mac OS X on it. Disk OS3 is my Linux partition, and the gamer is what I call my Windows 7 partition. So what you want to do is exactly that. You want to make 3 partitions. Mac OS X has to be the first one, then the smaller one, or you can make it bigger, whatever. If your Linux one is going to be bigger, you can still make it bigger or whatever. But the order has to be Mac OS X, Linux, and then Windows. You have to have it in that order, otherwise rEFIt will not do it correctly. So what you do is you go to the current scheme. I can't do it since mine's already partitioned and everything, but you go to current, select 3 partitions, and then just resize each of the partitions depending on how big you want them. You can enter it manually or whatever. So more likely than not, you just have 1 partition right now. So let that partition out, and after you do that, what you want to do is get your version of Windows first. And I will be back with a video on what to do from there. Alright guys, so when you boot into your Mac, what you want to do after you partition it is hold the option key on startup. Now what you're going to see is that on mine it says rEFIt. A little out of focus there. Back it up a little bit. It's not really focusing, guys, but what you'll see is this right here says rEFIt, and then you're not going to see this. This says Windows right now here, and then you're going to see an installation disk. Now that you want to be Windows first, so you'll boot into that. What I'm using is actually a Windows XP installation disk from my HP laptop, Service Pack 2 Professional Edition. So you insert that. Go ahead and follow the prompts. Now this is where it's really key to know what size your partitions are, because if you need to know the exact size, especially since you want to keep all the partitions are going to be in FAT format. You're going to install Windows, but you're going to format in NTFS if you want Windows to be larger than 32 gigabytes. So make sure you know the size of your partition, then you install Windows like you normally do. After that, what you're going to do is download a form of Linux. Personally, I use Ubuntu. Insert the CD still, install that, and if you wait about 2 minutes, I will be right back, and I will show you how to install the drivers for Mac OS X. Now what I've decided is this is going to be kind of a long video, so I'm going to make this a 2 or 3 part video. So the first part is this one. I will come back with a second video explaining and how to install the drivers on your Windows partition, and I'll show you on Mac OS X how to install the drivers on your Ubuntu or your Linux partition, depends on which one, and then a final video of how you change the actual icons on your rEFIt application, because my icons are going to be different than yours because I changed mine. So I'll be back with a second video. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment on the video itself. Please remember to rate 5 stars and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter. I now have a Twitter. It's at Techno Talk Blog. Just simple as that. I'll also, if you look at my profile, you can also find my website. And peace out.